Anyway, it was awesome, and I was really impressed. The front runners, in my opinion, are Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, and John Edwards. But quite frankly, a lot of their opinions and stuff get under my skin. None of them agree with gay marriage. They all want civil unions, which I don't care what you say. It means equal but separate. It's not acceptable. Every person that I know who's gay, including myself, we didn't know we were gay in the beginning, and we were brought up to want, marriage for the most part, and to be able to settle down with someone and have a happy life and start a family and have rights and be married. We grew up, those of us who wanted to get married, we wanted to get married. We didn't want to have a civil partnership like we were starting a law firm. And then we find out that we're gay. We fight it and we hate it. Some of us commit suicide. Some of us survive and make it through. And then we get to the other side and have all these people telling us, we agree with you, it's not a choice, you're born that way, we have no problem with gays, but why don't you accept civil union instead? Fuck you. That's all I have to say. I will be married. I will be married. Even if I have to go to a civil union license bureau, which someone made a good point. I don't remember where it was, but they said when you go to get your license, you have to go to the marriage bureau. And how difficult is it to just put 2 check boxes? Woman and man under spouse number 1 and woman and man under spouse number 2. And you can check off any combination thereof. There's only 4 combinations of that. Only 4. So, whatever. Whatever. So over that. Anyway, so the political debate thingy. They weren't on together, which I was kind of disappointed about. I kind of wanted them discussing it amongst themselves, but I also kind of liked the attention you got for each one, so they each had the same amount of time to talk about it. Let's see if I can find this real quick, because I got, here it is. It's at www.2, as in the number 2, decide.com/table.htm. This is a chart of both Democratic and Republican candidates and where they stand on almost all of the issues. Now, this is what I thought was interesting. Hillary Clinton, I'm double checking this now, but I'm almost positive, at least on this, and who knows if it's exactly right, I assume it is, that she is for the Patriot Act. And I was like, are you kidding me with this? You are for the Patriot Act? Oh, it's Darren Hayes clapping. I was like, what's that noise? Homeland Security. Patriot Act. Here it is. Clinton. Patriot Act. Yeah, she's for it. Let's see if Obama is. Obama. Yeah, he's for it. Okay, the Patriot Act. Bad. Now, granted, they're both against Guantanamo and torture. And it looks like they're both against wiretapping. Anyway, the 2 that I found the most interesting that probably don't have a chance in hell of winning this election, but I wish they did, was Kucinich and Grayval. Both of them are for gay marriage. Grayval even went so far as to talk about drugs shouldn't be illegal, which was surprising because me being what I define as a libertarian, let people do what they want to do. If you want to be a prostitute, then be a prostitute, and maybe we should have a system that keeps you from spreading disease and dying, and you can make money, and if someone wants to hire a prostitute, let them. It's not hurting anyone. It's a decision between 2 people. Granted, if one's a child, that's different, because children shouldn't be allowed to be prostitutes. And you would hope that we would develop a society where prostitution would not be the result of women who have low self-esteem that some man or other woman is taking advantage of to make money, but someone who maybe just enjoys sex. I don't know, maybe that's just my point of view. I just enjoy sex. I think I was actually offered potential to be a prostitute when I was younger from this guy who gave me his card and said, call me if you ever need anything. And he was an older guy, and I mean, you know, it happens. People are escorts, and some people are like, they like sex and they just don't care. And so as long as you protect yourself and you're not forcing anyone to do it if they don't want to, then, you know, maybe I mean, I didn't choose it for me. I didn't respond to what the guy said to me, and that's, although sometimes I wondered if I could have done it just so I could pay my rent and not have to go to some crap job all day. And that's, I don't know. It's just something to think about. It's not a big, you know, I don't know how I go on it. If it's a result of people feeling bad about themselves and they're pressured into it, that's one thing. But if it's something someone chooses to do because it's fun and they got no problems with it and they're not in any danger and they're not endangering others, then let people be people. So anyway, so Grayville was I think he's from Alaska. I may have that way wrong. I may be thinking of someone else. But anyway, he was just very open, and Kucinich was like a hippie flower child. He kept talking about he wanted to encompass the world in love, and I was really impressed by both of them, actually. I really, really was. I was more impressed by Kucinich just because of the way he spoke, and he seemed extremely timid in the beginning, and then he was really a powerful speaker towards the end. Richardson from Arizona or New Mexico, I'm not sure which one he's governor of. I don't know what's wrong with him. Melissa Etheridge asked him a question about if he believed being gay was a choice, and apparently he's claiming now he wasn't listening, and he goes, of course it is. And Melissa Etheridge and everyone kind of laughed and looked at him and said, maybe you didn't understand the question. And then he released a statement that he was tired, but he's not a scientist, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like this guy, Huckabee, who Bill Maher had on, and he's a Republican. Huckabee is a Republican. Richardson is a Democrat. And he asked Huckabee, you know, why he raised his hand when they asked who did not believe in evolution. And he's like, well, blah, blah, I'm a politician, I'm not, you know, running to be an 8th grade science teacher, blah, 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 blah. It's like, first of all, evolution does not mean we came from apes. That is a theory based on evolution. Evolution means that as any species grows, natural selection will remove the traits that do not survive in nature, and the part of the species that evolves contains traits that do survive, and sometimes those traits are mutations, genetic mutations that assist them in surviving. Watch Jurassic Park. They explain it really well. I mean, they don't directly address it as evolution, but that's what it is. And from that, people, scientists, believe that it's possible that through that process, because the planet is like billions of years old, that we could have possibly started as like single cells or fish or what have you, and grew into the myriad of species that exist now. And Huckabee was talking about how, well, if he had to choose between the one where God didn't exist and the one where God did, then he was going to pick the one where God did, and that meant saying that evolution wasn't real. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I've never really heard anyone who believes in evolution say that it means that God couldn't possibly have been behind it.